Welcome to MidLIFE Matters, where we celebrate women's wisdom and wit. I'm Georgian Lussier, your host, and I'm delighted to introduce today's guest, Maria Campos Harlow, currently the Executive Director of the United Way of Meriden and Wallingford, and she is passionate about community service. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Georgian. I'm very happy to be here.
Great. Could you highlight some of the key services that you provide? The United Way of Meriden and Wallingford.
Our mission is to mobilize resources to create lasting change. We focus on helping every single individual in the community to have access to health, education, and financial stability. We do that by raising funds in Meriden and Wallingford and invest them back in Meriden and Wallingford in the form of grants to our local nonprofits, or we fund programs and initiatives that serve the Wallingford Meriden community.
How long have you been with United Way now?
Since 2018, so it's 3 years.
And then COVID came.
And then
we had about a year.
That first year that you get used to,
right.
You're learning, you're trying to feel the job, and then COVID happens. And you know what? That COVID really fired me up. As soon as all of this craziness happened, right away we made our office completely remote, to be able to work completely remote. And right away I started reaching out to our nonprofit leaders in the community, because I first wanted to know from peer to peer, how are we doing? Because it was a really very scary time. How is the community doing? And how are their agencies doing? Because we needed to respond to what was happening. So it was a tremendous amount of wonderful sharing from all the executive directors, very openly. And wonderful opportunities for collaboration came up from that.
Let's talk about your development. You moved to Wallingford in 2006, and you've held a number of both volunteer, service provider, and leadership positions. And how did you get started, and what did you learn from your early experiences, say, with SCOW?
When I moved to Wallingford, I was recently married. I didn't know anyone in Wallingford, so I wanted to do something for my community. I wanted to get involved, and I felt that since I'm Hispanic, I heard about the Spanish community of Wallingford, and I reached out to the organization really with this mentality and rationale that I had so much to offer. Quickly, I realized that it was me, the one that had so much to learn. It was an absolutely wonderful experience. I made absolutely wonderful friendships, and through the organization, I ended up doing what I always wanted to do. I had the opportunity to learn how the nonprofit world worked and how to serve my community in a more meaningful way.
And how many years were you there?
So I was there for 3 years as a volunteer,
okay.
And then in 2008 I became executive director, and I stayed for 10 years as executive director.
Wonderful. So that's a very rich history. Like, what would be a significant accomplishment that you're proud of from your time at SCOW?
One of them definitely is to help bridge both communities, the Anglo community and the Hispanic community, through the arts, for instance, through music. SCOW has an absolutely beautiful music program. Miss Evangeline Mendoza is the music director, and she created a mariachi academy, the Mariachi Academy of Connecticut. So those children had the beautiful opportunity to get connected to their Hispanic roots and their culture, and be very proud about it. Another thing that makes me very proud, to bring opportunities that are available to the Hispanic community, but we were not taken advantage of. So we found those opportunities to find ways to connect people in need with people who wanted to help, or with programs that were available to them.
So then you were ready for a new challenge.
I was.
And what attracted or drew you to the United Way of Meriden and Wallingford?
SCOW was a partner agency from United Way, so I was always very involved with United Way. And funny enough, I always wanted to work for United Way. Since I was a child, I heard about the United Way, and I was always very interested.
Let's talk a little bit about your earlier days. So you came to the U.S. From Columbia with a degree in political science,
yes.
Correct? And you speak 3 languages.
Yes.
What are the 3 languages?
French. I went to a
nice.
French school from kindergarten to 2nd grade. my classes were only in French and well, obviously Spanish and English. Later, I learned English in high school. I have a cousin that lives in Westport. I came here with the intention to be only for a few months. I wanted to polish my English. I wasn't at a time of my life where I needed to think what direction my life was going to take. I ended up working here, developing friendships, but my whole world around that time was really a group of immigrants, people from Sweden, from France, from Lebanon, from other countries in the world. So it is very different. The mindset is very different when you are navigating through that world. Sure. I always had a foot in my country, and I always felt that I'm Colombian and that's it. I'm very proud about it.
Your
I absolutely
identity,
love my country.
Roots.
Is everything. It wasn't until I married my husband, I moved to Wallingford, and I realized that, and one time he told me, you're American too. It made me realize, yes, I am American too, and I'm very happy about that. And if I want to, and that comes with responsibility, and that comes, if I want to be able to thrive in this world, I also have to feel and act like an American. When that happened, that my mind frame completely changed. I wanted to bring that same experience to SCAO. To me, it was like when that moment clicked, I'm here. This is an absolutely wonderful country. It has been so welcoming to me. There are so many things that I can do. I mean, the sky is the limit. Once I got into that mind frame, I stopped. I was not a visitor anymore. I just realized that this was my country, and this is where I was going to grow roots as well.
And I imagine that's easy for others to relate to who are where you were. And that you can use it as an example and really come from a place of knowing that where they are is, in their evolution or whatever. So I imagine that's very inspirational and helps you gain trust with people, right?
That was, it was every time that I sat with a client at SCAO, with a person that was in that situation. I just moved to this country. I don't know anyone. I don't speak the language. I had the blessing that I had been there. I could relate, and I could really motivate and inspire people to do the things that they needed to do to be able to take advantage of this absolutely wonderful country.
Maybe their world enlarges, and it's not like they have to leave that entirely behind, but it's a bigger world.
And
right?
It's absolutely
room for more, alliances and allegiances and identities.
Absolutely. And that makes me think about my daughter. I have a 7-year-old daughter. She was born here, and she's as American as they come. But to me, it's very important that she realizes that she's also Colombian and that she has two absolutely wonderful worlds.
Yes.
And for me, it's very important that as much as she adores her country and she's very American, I want her also to be very Colombian. So now that the Disney movie Encanto, that has been out there for a couple of months now, it's about Colombia. And when you see the movie, everything in the movie is Colombia. And I love to see her, how she gets so excited about the music and the characters and the story. So it's funny that now I'm also thinking, so now it's not only about America, it's coming back to the Colombian roots and being able for us immigrants to have embrace this beautiful gift of belonging to two worlds and being able to get the best of both of them.
And weaving it together.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Wonderful. And as we reflect and we age and reach milestone birthdays, which I know you had one recently, it is a good time to pull some things together, and you're talking about that with how you're learning through your daughter, et cetera, to kind of look back, be in the present, future. What advice would you give your younger self, say, around 25?
Really? So there are a lot of things that you hear through life. People give you advice, you read these beautiful things, but it isn't until you understand it, assimilate it, is that you really get to experience it. Lately, I have been looking a lot at my pictures because I was trying to think about the answer to this question. So I was looking at my pictures. So at that time of my life, I was always thinking, and I was focused on what my life is going to be when
When
I do this,
yes,
when I get married, when I get my dream job, when I do all of these things. So you get so focused on those milestones in your life that you miss a lot of what is going on at that moment. And it is so important to really enjoy and embrace what is happening at that moment right now, because you don't know what is going to happen. You don't know who or the people that are around you, if they may be gone down the road. Or at that point, 25 years old, I was in Colombia, and now I'm no longer in Colombia. So it's just embrace what you are experiencing and living in that moment, because life is going to come. The future is going to come regardless. So let's not miss the beautiful things of the present, of the moment that we're living at that time.
Do you have a favorite quote or saying?
So I love this quote by Rumi, this: set your life on fire and seek those who fan your flames.
Oh, I love it.
Absolutely love it. I think that we dream and we can do amazing things, but we also need our tribe around us, supporting us and helping us to get there. And I'm very fortunate and lucky to have that.
Well, that's beautiful, and I'm sure people are fortunate to have you fanning their flames. And I do think women's friendships are such a jewel that we can have that really help us throughout different stages, of our lives in ways that other people might not have.
Oh,
other
absolutely.
people, like maybe being men. So thank you very much, Maria. Just delightful to have you, and best of luck in everything United Way of Married in Wallingford and your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
You're
this
welcome.
was very enjoyable.
Great.
Thank you.
And please tune in to hear other fascinating women on future segments of MidLIFE Matters. I'm Georgian Lussier, your host, and thank you for joining us.